Modeling is just not sustainable. I can't do this for the next 10 to 20 years of my life. My looks will fade. So I had to find a nice bridge or something that I can transition my skills over to. So I basically just moved from in front of the camera to behind the camera.
Stretching, I know now, I used to also skip it, but it's so important.
In my family, like, all the guys have like problems with their legs after like 50s, 60s. So I should really be like looking inwards and trying to resolve that as quickly as possible.
People always pull the wrong way. They're like, oh, I can work out and eat what I want. But it's not how it works.
5 years ago, if I told my younger self, would I be here? And absolutely not. It's almost impossible to predict what's going on. You can have a sense of direction, but it's really difficult to be accurate.
You could be the smartest person probably in film school, but if you can't apply it, then it doesn't matter. Hey Liam, thanks for joining us. We're running another episode of our Vitals Expert series. So why don't you introduce yourself and explain a little bit about what you do here in Thailand?
Cool. Well, thanks for having me. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Liam. I'm half Thai, Thai English. Sorry, I'm getting used to this.
Yeah.
Born and raised in the UK.
Yeah.
I went to the University of Bath and I came here when I was 23.
Okay.
So I've been in Bangkok for 5 years now. The first 3 years I was just modeling, nothing too serious. I was only supposed to be here on a 3-month contract, but the lifestyle was too attractive.
Well, you're Thai, right?
I am Thai.
So it's kind of like coming home?
Yeah. I mean, I'd only been to Thailand twice before and I was like 3 years old, can't remember a thing.
Yeah.
8 years old, all right.
Yeah.
It's just with my mum.
So it's kind of like a new experience.
Kind of.
So you came here to model, but currently, I guess you still do model. I mean, you're a good-looking guy.
Thank you.
But I know you've kind of ventured into business and career.
Yeah.
So why don't you talk about a little bit about what you do and kind of what inspired you to get into kind of the industry you're in now?
To be honest, I had no idea what I wanted to do, even when I was modeling, but I knew I had a passion for creating media. So basically, I thought, modeling is just not sustainable. I can't do this for the next 10 to 20 years of my life. My looks will fade. So I had to find a nice bridge or something that I can transition my skills over to. So I basically just moved from in front of the camera to behind the camera. So from model to videographer and then director and then eventually producer, which is what I am now.
And you've always had an interest, I guess, in entertainment and kind of commercials. Is there a certain part of the creative process that you enjoy more than others? Or like, what would you say if you had your ideal job, what would that be?
You know what's funny? I like sales and people think I'm like a sociopathic for saying that. But I love business development. I love
like finding new clients, like developing new ideas,
100%.
And I guess kind of exploring new markets. I mean, you just mentioned to me recently that you're in China. So are you expanding now your business outside of Thailand? Are you looking to be more of a regional? Kind of what, maybe you could explain a little bit about that, if you can share something.
I mean, I would love to be the bridge that connects international brands to expand into Asian markets. So I have some friends in the UK that want to expand into Asian markets. I think Asia's like the next place. It's a very happening place right now. It's a growing economy. China's next door. So I was in China trying to find new clients, either bridge them into Thailand, and it's happening already. A lot of Chinese producers are moving their commercials to Thailand because it's cheaper.
High quality?
The teams are amazing.
Yeah.
So there's going to be an abundance of opportunity for us like that. And I just kind of want to harbinge that as fast as possible, basically.
Yeah, I know Thailand has become kind of like a bit of a hub, especially in Asia, for people from the West wanting to move here. And I guess it's because it's an easy place to live, and then also cost of living, like you mentioned, it's cheaper, but it doesn't lack on the quality side. So with running your business, what are some of the key challenges you had setting up here and then kind of ongoing running it till now?
I mean, I focused on my strengths, which is mostly chat, to be honest, and creativity is how it started out.
Yeah.
But all the technical stuff, I'll be honest, I offload to my technical guys. So my original business partner, IT, he's called IT for a reason. He's really good with the legal stuff and the technicalities, and like he's a wizard. Yeah. I'll be honest, like I'm not.
So he deals with all those issues. So you bit hands off on that side. You focus on the creative and like you said, the business development.
Exactly.
So I guess you have a good balance with you and your partner as well.
I try to, yeah.
And you come from I guess like somewhat of a sports background as well, right? Where you competed for swimming?
Yeah, open water swimming.
Okay. And then what did you ever consider going into the fitness space or something wellness based at any point of in your career?
I mean, absolutely, until I realized swimming just doesn't pay. Yeah, I competed at GB level when I was 18, so I was still considered a youth. I wasn't competing with the seniors, which is 19 and over. And that was pretty much the peak of what I was able to accomplish. I came back with 2 European gold medals.
Yeah, oh, wow.
And I told my dad, like, Dad, I have to retire.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that I didn't enjoy my childhood or competing. It's like, I love it, and I would do it now if I could. It's just not. I can't live a lifestyle based off the salary or the sponsorship. You know?
And because obviously you're very active physically before, and I'm still now. So do you still kind of maintain a consistent fitness routine? And then how do you balance kind of, your career work? 'Cause I'm sure working in production, there's long days, long nights, or early mornings even. How do you kind of balance now your kind of fitness and wellness and like work career?
Whenever you have time, it's honestly one of the best detox methods. I still compete because that mindset is transferable to the workplace. Even though I'm not competing anymore, having a healthy mind, it helps you stay competitive, constantly reminding you to refine your skills. If you don't use it, lose it, right?
Yeah. So what would you typical kind of, what do you do to kind of maintain your fitness levels now? Are you still swimming, or what would you kind of your weekly fitness regime look like?
Actually, not swimming anymore. I moved to boxing.
Boxing? Okay.
Yeah, a bit more exciting.
And how often do you box?
I try to go 2 or 3 times a week, but I'm really only managing once a week.
Yeah, because of the work schedule?
Yeah.
Do you do any kind of like cardio or any other exercise as well, or just boxing and work?
Yeah, the last year I switched to cardio because my metabolism's slowing down.
Talking about slowing down metabolism, obviously as you get older, and this is something that kind of resonated with me. I started to look at kind of supplements and vitamins to kind of add different stuff to my body that would enhance it, whether it's kind of getting more protein in, or, omega-3, magnesium, those types of things, creatine. Is there any kind of supplements that you take regularly that you find that kind of help with your performance and endurance while you're training?
Right now, I'm taking a lot of fish oil. I have issues in my joints, and this is something that definitely was caused by my childhood. From 14 to 18, I never stretched after training. I didn't want to miss happy hour.
Yeah.
So
no, stretching. I know now. I used to always skip it, but it's so important.
Yeah, truly. And in my family, all the guys have problems with their legs after 50s, 60s. So I should really be looking inwards and trying to resolve that as quickly as possible. So fish oil is one of them. Magnesium would be the other one. I have sleep insomnia.
So magnesium helps you with your sleep?
Yeah.
And do you take these daily, or how often are you taking them?
Whenever I remember to, I'll be honest.
Yeah. And then how about, so those are kind of more lifestyle kind of mobility kind of supplements. Do you take anything for boxing? Do you take creatine, whey, or anything to help maintain? Because obviously you got a lot of muscle mass.
Yeah.
Is there something you take to kind of maintain that?
Not so much anymore. I used to creatine, whey protein, because especially when I was living in the UK, the culture was just bigger is better, right?
Yeah.
You didn't even care about being lean. People just wanted to be huge.
Yeah. Well, I think that's changed also, where people, I think there was that phase where people wanted to kind of go lift heavy, get bigger muscles. But now I think people want to look good in clothes. So, and then, obviously when your arms are this big, you can't fit everything, right?
Exactly.
So you'd rather be kind of a lean Brad Pitt Fight Club kind of body.
I look good in a suit,
Yeah, because I guess as you get older, you find you're spending less time in gym clothes and more time in, professional outfits, right? In different situations and scenarios.
100%, and especially for the modeling industry, it's I'm not that tall. I'm 5'10", 5'11" on a good day.
Yeah, so your heels on.
Yeah. So the wider I am, the shorter I look on camera, and it's for now, it's perhaps that was the culture when I was 18 and I wasn't modeling. I didn't start modeling until I was 23, and as you say, you get older, you get mature. No one wants. It enables you to move or disables you to move around sometimes.
And also I think you want to be more mobile, and versus kind of, it becomes less about how you look and more about how you feel.
100%.
And you want to feel good, and when you feel good, you kind of look good as also in clothing as well.
Look good, feel good. Yeah.
Exactly. And then I guess just to touch back quickly on the supplements you take, where do you generally find kind of your recommendations, or where do you get your guidance on, say, who gave you the guidance? So how did you find out that you want to take fish oil, magnesium, or these types of supplements? What kind of guides you towards them usually? Do you have an expert, a friend, or? Friends
constantly reminding me. I'm terrible. I'll know that my body, something's not right.
Yeah.
I'll wait until that very last minute to do something, and it's not very preemptive. It's only until recently I started taking supplements, maybe 6 months ago or something like that. I'm very old fashioned. I'm not gonna lie. I'll train till I hurt. I'll eat a balanced meal, but I'm not really monitoring the science behind it. I only started fasting 6 months ago as well.
Oh, so you do intermittent fasting?
Yeah, I skip breakfast.
Okay, so when your first meal would be 12 o'clock?
Yeah, around about 1, 2.
Yeah.
And then
what's the purpose of that? Is it weight loss, or is it just maintenance, or just kind of feel mentally you feel better when you fast, you wait and you wake up, or what drove you to kind of get into intermittent fasting?
Actually, I think it was weight loss. Yeah, I was trying to lose weight around my face, my stomach, and not having breakfast, having that coffee in the morning,
Yeah.
just getting straight to work was also giving me enough energy in the day. Otherwise, sometimes I would crash in the morning.
Yeah.
By the time the afternoon comes, I want to take my afternoon nap in the office or something.
Yeah, was it a hard adjustment to because obviously a lot of people eat breakfast, or have snack in the morning to get energy to actually start working. So initially, when you started intermittent fasting, was there kind of a learning curve of a few days or even a week where you had to get into that routine where your body started to understand your behavior, so then you weren't getting hungry in the mornings anymore?
It wasn't too bad for me, to be honest with you. And actually, it kind of suited me. That I could wake up later and go straight to the office, and I'm not having to squeeze in 3 meals a day. Like, oh man, the time it takes to cook your meal, prep your meal, eat it, clean everything. I'm actually kind of glad my metabolism slowed down. When I was young, I had the opposite problem. Like, my metabolism was so bloody high. I just could not put on the weight. And now it's like, I don't even have to try. And it's just like, I'll skip a meal, I'll skip breakfast, 2 meals a day. So I save time, save cost. And yeah, this helps me with my workload, basically.
So you said you're kind of losing weight, but with intermittent fasting, were you also dieting as well alongside that? Like, I mean, is there a certain diet routine you stick to consistently? How did you kind of, I guess, compound that intermittent fasting with a kind of a nutrition plan?
Not so much, to be honest. I love physical regimes, but I'm not a great nutritionist. Instead, I'm very old-fashioned. I'll have enough fruit. I eat fruit every day.
Do you count calories or not really?
No. I know that sounds bizarre. Most athletes do, but yeah, no, I don't.
Chicken and rice?
Yeah, just steak.
Steak, yeah. Well, no, I know a lot of people they kind of say to achieving weight loss or something, it's 90% diet, 10% kind of in the gym. And it's 'cause I know Darren was on here before, and he was mentioning people always pull the wrong lever. I can work out and eat what I want, but it's not how it works.
Not at all.
And I guess what advice would you give kind of someone that has a lifestyle similar to yours to kind of maintain a healthy lifestyle?
As you said, it's just prioritizing. There's the 3 pillars of my life, which is creativity, fitness, and wealth.
Are these 3 pillars yearly, or these are kind of ongoing?
Ongoing.
Yeah.
No, it's a symbiosis. It's I try to have 33%, 33%, because that's the priority to me.
Yeah.
I want to stay creative. I want to stay fit, and of course we need money as well.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't jeopardize one for the other 2, or vice versa. So,
do you split your time evenly among those 3, or?
It's mostly work, to be honest. But luckily, my job it kind of incorporates all 3. So sometimes I am on my feet. Even though my right now business development is mostly sedentary, I'm sat down a lot. But there's a lot of creativity involved, especially if I have to direct something.
Because you could be out shooting for 12 hours straight, right? And then you could do 20,000 steps in that time as well, right?
Yeah, and I'm still in the first 3 years, so I'm constantly running around. I don't know if it's going to be like that after year 3. Perhaps I will be in the office and that'll be it. But I hope I'm still be moving around, I
guess that helps, having quite an active career. Your career enables you to be active throughout the day as well. And you mentioned kind of going back to your business development, and you're trying to get new clients. What kind of clients are you looking to get? And maybe you could kind of explain a little bit about kind of your plan for your business as well over maybe the next year.
I mean, we've recently remodeled the business. We operated more as a production house before the first 2 years. We had, way more employees than we did now. But the issue of that is that I was just having to do all these little jobs just to pay the salaries at the end of every month. There was so much pressure. But now I brought on new shareholders, really great filmmakers. We've reduced the scale of the time almost down to 30%. And the reward of that is that I now get to, take more time focusing on finding clients and creating long-term partnerships.
Yeah.
So rather than one-off production, I really don't want to have to find new clients every month. It's such a time killer to write the proposal, to negotiate. I really just want to find one client, lock down a 6 or 12 month deal, and then do it again.
And when you say lock down a 6-12 month deal, so what does that entail? So is it what do you do for 6 or 12 months for that client?
So I'll create a timeline. And that timeline is for media production and distribution. So I'll find out whatever their corporate objectives are. I'll find out their pillars of content. So what are their list of products or services? And then depending on what their objective is, create exposure, generate more sales, maybe even find stakeholders. I'll basically create a storyline that fits the narrative to achieve that objective. So a lot of it is just consultations and research. And then if I understand what they do as good as they do, I've sort of won their trust over.
So you kind of work, it's almost like a full service suite for a brand or business that's the whole media content or creation for a year.
Yeah.
And that kind of covers like, creating videos, content, deploying content, media placements, all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
And I guess what kind of clients are you working with now, and what kind of clients do you like to work with?
I mean, I always get stick for this. I like corporate.
Yeah.
I worked in corporate in London.
Yeah.
I worked in sponsorships. So, I had to always synergize the relationships between brands and rights holders, create partnerships. And I guess that's kind of how I started out, is like kind of joining the dots. How do these people's needs and these people's needs fit together? And I kind of enjoy that. So most of my clients are corporate, I'll be honest with you. My guys prefer more creative work because they're creative backgrounds,
Well, would you say corporates are a little bit more, there's a bit more restriction about what you can do, and they kind of have a bit more guidelines where, say a brand like Vitals, for example, we might come to like, listen, we want to like launch the market. We kind of don't really know what we want to do. Like, here's like kind of like a white piece of paper. Let's come up with some ideas and kind of go from there.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Exactly it. Yeah. And it's like, making the seemingly dull appear, extraordinary. And I cannot take pride in that, because a lot of my clients will know, like someone like Ditto, similar like IBM or something, or like, how can we make this fun and vibrant and interesting? Or how can we make this go viral? I like the challenge in that. For now, until we start to get bigger, and then we can start doing other projects and diversifying the portfolio.
So are you primarily, like right now your business is primarily focused on Thailand, or you're doing Thailand, China? Is there other regions, countries in Asia that you'd like to touch on as well?
Right now it's Thailand and China. China's like really my main focus right now, trying to bring them in, because the relationship between China and Thailand is pretty good right now. We don't have visas to go back and forth. I know China's buying a lot of property in Thailand right now because they can't buy property in the mainland. So, that's where I see.
And it's an attractive place for them to come also.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they'd like to come down here, work on projects. But how does it work because obviously here everything's in Thai and it's a Thai scenery. So how would you go about, for a Chinese brand, for example, creating them content and media and making it still feel like it's localized to somewhere like China?
Yeah, it's a tricky one, you know what I mean? The culture is so different, but it's more or less the same model of process. I mean, I'm still figuring out for myself, like I have 2 clients in China right now, but decent ones.
But you do so your clients are in China, but you do all the work for them in Thailand, or the shooting, or the production, or you do it in Thailand.
In Thailand.
Yeah. So actually, the business, all the creative and all the content is done in Thailand, but you're servicing clients outside.
Yeah.
And what kind of brands in China are you working with? Can you say, or the industry, or?
Yeah, one of them's a fashion brand, and that's fun. And I started out as me as a model. So it's funny how like the model.
You see, you flip the switch, right? You used to be on the other side of the camera.
Yeah, exactly. And it's nice that they can like, hey, you have a company as well. And it's nice that, that bridge to be rewarding, because I wasn't sure if I should stop the modeling altogether, but it keeps me in different social networks and pools, and it creates opportunities for itself, so that's nice. And then the other one is a trading company, again, a bit more corporate, like a finance hedge fund. And I just do all the like website developments, branding, that kind of stuff. This one's a bit more tricky, but constantly having to learn and evolve. I mean, that's the name of it.
Because you're a bit more black and white, right, about what they want.
Yeah.
Did you get these clients, were they kind of in 2024 is when you kind of expand out of Thailand? And then in 2025, do you have any things in the pipeline that you can share about what your plans are, or kind of any big projects you have coming up?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few. I can't name the clients, but there's definitely 2 I'm going after right now. We have a few partnerships already. Q1's going to be slow, because Q1 is really just for identifying the clients and like negotiating these long-term contracts. Yeah, it's difficult, you know what I mean? Because they all have their marketing budget for this year, and it's just getting to convince them, because some of them have in-house teams, but they can't facilitate the entire operation. So I'll take over that.
So they give you parts of the business to work with.
Yeah.
And then you said you like sales and business development. How do you go about finding these clients in places like China or overseas? I mean, is it kind of cold calling, or you have some kind of network there already? What kind of obstacles do you encounter, and like kind of how do you go about getting new business being based in somewhere like Bangkok?
I mean, I'm so lucky. I mean, the one bonus I have in Bangkok compared to London is that I have a much better network and social pool here. In London, I was, even though I'm from the UK, I just wasn't in that pool whatsoever. Now, maybe that was partially because of my age. I left London when I was 23. So I still didn't really have time to go around and meet everyone. I wasn't, really that credible as a professional. I hadn't accomplished anything yet. So, okay, you could argue my age, but definitely in Thailand, because of the modeling scene, I just met so many different people.
Well, in general, I find Asia is a good place to network. I think like I grew up in Hong Kong, and I feel like, in Hong Kong, everybody knows everybody. And in Thailand, at Bangkok, I feel like everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
And people here are like, oh, everyone's almost like a nomad in the sense of they kind of come from somewhere else, or like, they're like yourself, you're Thai, but you grew up in the UK and you come here. And how many of your friends are in the same situation as you? So you almost build a bond and kind of create a bit of a family, so to speak. Like I remember a long time ago, someone told me that the thing they love about Hong Kong is in Hong Kong, your friends become your family. And the great thing is you get to choose your friends.
Yeah.
You can't choose your family. With your business, where would you like to take it kind of in the next 3 to 5 years? Kind of where would Liam and your business like to be in kind of, 5 years time?
I mean, I would love a different department. I want to go into marketing. That's sort of the end game for me.
Digital marketing or?
Full scope. Yeah, full scope. I want to have like a AI department, data analytics department.
Yeah.
I love research. I really do. That's why I want to do long-term strategies, because it gives me time to figure out if we're doing something wrong, doing something right. How is the economy? How do we have to shift to the economy, or how do we have to evolve with technologies such as AI or new equipments?
So actually, my Radek, our CMO, he gave me a very good piece of advice. He said, marketing is science. So it doesn't matter where you are. All you have to do is look at the data, and then you take that data and then you apply different kind of scenarios, A/B testing, and then you figure out what works. But it's all, at the end of the day, it all boils down to being a science. And that's why data and analytics is so important for marketing.
100%. And it's something I'm not so familiar with yet. It's not something I haven't even touched yet, but I know that's the direction I want to go in the next 3 to 5 years.
So you want to expand kind of your business to having more kind of offerings and services. But what would be kind of your ideal, like what would be your golden egg kind of client or kind of brand that you'd like to work with?
Definitely something that's a bit more like fashion. I mean, or like, I love like sports. So a sports brand like Nike, for example, or that wanted to have a bigger, stronger presence in Thailand, and they trusted our creativity to run the media productions and distribute the media. I mean, that would be amazing. I would love that. And then free clothes,
Yeah. Little sponsorship, some Jordans.
Yeah, that would be a dream client of mine. I've only really thought 2 years into the future. I used to have these huge dreams. When I first started the company, I was thinking a decade into the future, until I realized like
baby steps
is the way to go.
It's good. I always find it's good to have small milestones. And then, so one, you can achieve them quicker. And so it's self-satisfaction. And then once you've achieved that, you kind of move on to kind of the next thing. It's more attainable, and it's in the foreseeable future, which keeps you motivated in the long run. Because you have your kind of goals too far down the line, and, it can get kind of, it can get down if you're not achieving them, you're off target. Where you have these little milestones, you can kind of keep the mood going and keep upbeat along the way.
100%, and it's always changing. Like people 5 years ago, if I told my younger self, would I be here? And absolutely not. It's almost impossible to predict what's going on. You can have a sense of direction, but it's really difficult to be accurate.
Yeah.
Unless you're just absolutely pinpoint and tunnel vision. But sometimes it's nice to keep your other opportunities open. Sometimes something better might come along, or you meet someone that offers you a different opportunity. It's better than what you originally preconceived.
And how do you you mentioned like you would like to work in someone like Nike to improve their brand image or awareness in somewhere like Thailand. How do you find like creatives in Thailand, and how do you find like other people that are doing something similar to what you're doing? Like, is there a lot of competition? Are there there's a few big players that have been around for a long time? What's kind of your take on kind of like the market or the scene in your industry in Thailand specifically?
It's a tough one. I mean, there's so much competition. There's 8 billion of us now, and people always say, do you want to do that? This is saturated. But the truth is, no matter what you do, there's going to be competition.
One of the best pieces of advice I ever got was you should focus on your customer, not your competitor.
Yeah.
Because if you focus on your customer, you'll never go wrong.
Yeah.
And if you spend too much time focusing on your competitor, you're going to neglect your customer. So yeah, you're 100% right. As long as there's a lot of people doing the same thing, but as long as you focus on who your customer is and you're taking care of them and doing a good job, I think you'll be successful.
It's constantly having to add more value and finding out how to do that, without running yourself dry. Obviously, there's a fine balance. I'm just trying to do that. How
do you find it hiring staff here? Because obviously the creative space is very competitive, and I'm sure a lot of people, and I've encountered this myself, working with agencies, a lot of times people, they want to work on their own, they want to do their own thing. How do you find it hiring people and building a team?
It's tough.
Yeah,
that's the hardest one. Finding talent, one, and then B, retaining talent is so difficult.
Because in your industry, a lot of people like to work from home, work for themselves, work freelance. So actually, locking down people must be one of the most difficult things.
Especially creatives, because the best people, not just creatives in any field actually, the best of the best are freelance.
Yeah.
Because they're so good, they can choose their own time now. They don't need to be employed by anyone.
Yeah.
So it's difficult. That's why I changed my business model recently. Less employees, but going after the bigger clients, but providing them with the best team that I could possibly curate. And these guys are freelance.
So you would still work with freelancers and in-house?
Yeah.
Actually, it almost works better where you could have, say, a pool of 1,000 freelancers or 100 freelancers, and you can pull that from them whenever you need them. One's busy, you can grab another one. So you could have kind of like a quality control around who you work with, and you can pull them as and when you need.
That's the name of the game. I mean, that's why I want these partnerships, because it's going to help me grow the team with security. I know what's coming at the end of every month. And eventually, I do need to acquire a bigger in-house team. Maybe if I can make the deal incentivizing enough for these top creatives to come work for me, we can sort of share the pool, that kind of stuff. But it's easier said than done. I've only really just begun that in year 3. So I'll let you know in 6 months' time.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll be fine. And then I guess going back to kind of like working in Thailand, is it easy? Like, do you work with other like agency or other production houses? How competitive is the field? Are people willing to work together? Or I mean, we're just talking off camera about another person I know that works in a similar space. Are they very receptive to other people and kind of co-collaborating on different projects?
Yeah, 100%. I would say a lot of us are now collaborating because we know ultimately it helps the ecosystem, you know what I mean? Just sharing the load. Yeah, I'm trying to work with many different teams as possible. It helps.
And then I guess also, like, you're saying you're going to China to kind of, or you're going outside of Thailand to get other customers. Then I guess you have to compete with their local people as well, right? What do you feel like the pool is for people to actually coming and doing something in Thailand versus doing something more localized for them?
It depends how much budget they have. If they want to fly the team over and they have the money for expenses, great. But it always helps when you're doing work overseas. Having a local team is kind of like, it saves so much money. A good example would be Rolling Loud.
Yeah.
One of my clients. And they flew their team over from the States, like a big team, like maybe like 12 or something. But all the flights was like, it would have been so expensive to fly that team over.
Yeah.
So they hired my team this year and I had a huge team as well. Whatever money they saved on flights, they put towards my team.
And obviously quality was not compromised as well.
Yeah. Luckily the Thai creatives were on point. I would say, I mean, I'm unbiased, but I would say really like as good, if not better in some sort of aspects. Obviously, like, the American team had different...
Is there a bit of a barrier of like cultures and how you work together as well?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. But that's normal almost in anything. It's very competitive, right? Because it's like, okay, we are under the same unit. Yeah. But then it's like the American team, Thai team.
And you have different views on how it should be done. And you could argue that you actually have more local knowledge. So this is how it should be done here, where they might feel like, no, this is how we do things. So it's probably a bit of back and forwards, and maybe it comes down to you kind of having to explain to them more of a logic and reason why you're doing it that certain way, right?
Yeah, I mean, I try not to be too contentious. I don't want to step on anyone's toes. And I know like the hierarchy, so I'll take my command. But you know what? They trust me. So there's really, if I suggest something, there's no fight, which is nice, and that's kind of how I want it to be.
And with a project like that, because it's technically a one event over a weekend, right? Yeah. Is it just like that day? What a lot of people might not understand is, for a business like you might have been working with them for a year to actually build towards that one event. So just using it as an example, so for something like Rolling Loud, which you did last year, what's that process of actually building up the kind of the content and creative towards that specific event?
It's huge. It's like 1 month is negotiating, 3 months is pre-production, curating the teams, organizing all the equipments, making sure that the direction of the contents look good. People think it's just point and shoot. And
a lot of people just probably think, oh, you just turn up on the day and you kind of, and then there's probably the post as well. Yeah. And you probably have to get things like cross-checked and you have to make edits and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, production is hard. Post-production is even harder because you have to like do the DIT or the file transfer, and you have to edit there and then. Yeah. So you don't even have the next day to edit it. You have to do it that evening, and that's tough on the team.
For something like that, so a one-day event could actually turn out to be kind of a 6-month, 12-month production plan and a kind of project for you.
Yeah, most of my stuff is planning, really pre-production, and for me, like strategy. That's really most of my time, is building proposals and taking the time to really just convince them that this plan is better than the other, maybe their in-house team's plan or something like this. Yeah.
We offer probably an outside point of view and a skill set, which a lot of the, which say an overseas brand might not have when they're doing a localized market as well.
Yeah, I mean, I never came from a film school background. I definitely came from, a market.
So you learned a lot of it by yourself?
Yeah, in the UK.
Yeah.
I mean, uni was great. I studied sociology.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I learned more in my internship year. It's like real practical application.
On the ground.
Yeah, like for me, that was way.
Do you remember your first kind of like, as an intern, your first production that you did?
It wasn't so much production, but I did have to lead an account, and that was just tough, just constantly everything going wrong.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between theory and the real world. In theory, you don't really see when things go
Yeah,
wrong.
well, they always say like there's a difference between being book smart and street smart, right? And you could be smartest person probably in film school, but if you can't apply it, then it doesn't matter. And then, but you have someone who's probably the worst student, but he's probably could be the most creative and the best kind of director that you have ever seen.
Yeah, on paper, some people seem flawless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like IQ and EQ. Like for me, like I don't know how book smart I am. Like academically, like it was difficult for me growing up. But in the real world, knowing how to talk to people, or at least trying to understand their perspective and what they need.
Yeah, social skills are important.
Yeah, it would be one of my strengths.
Yeah, I mean, they say well, your network is your net worth.
Yeah.
So like, be able to kind of network and kind of figure out who you should be working with, talking with, to work with in collaborations, then you'll be more successful than kind of, just having a good product.
Yeah.
You need to have both, actually.
It's difficult, you know what I mean? I mean, that's why we got to split up the workload, you know what I mean? Someone has to be the face, someone has to talk, and then someone has to help with the back end stuff. And I mean, it's just like curating a team of Avengers, right? That's kind of what I did this year. I brought on 3 new key players. This guy called Tantai, Peak, 2 of the top 5 cinematographers in all of Bangkok. So in terms of the creative aspect and running their productions, I don't need to worry anymore. And then I have Money, Money.
Yeah.
He's a huge network, great family, so many businesses, and just trying to create an ecosystem that works for everyone, trying to give everyone some sort of benefit, so it's a win-win situation for all.
And do you still have to network quite a bit? And like, if you do network, how do you usually network? I mean, is it going out? Is it going to events, or is it kind of just through friends?
Yeah, friends usually, and friends of friends.
Those are the best referrals, like word of mouth, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's basically me. That's most of mine. 80% of my clientele is word of mouth.
Yeah. Thanks for coming down. And I look forward to kind of seeing the progression of your business in the coming years. Yeah. And then hopefully there's something we could do together, over the next year of Vitals, as we kind of plan to launch and do more kind of content and creative over the years as well.
Hey, maybe next time we do this, you'll be giving me tasks for like.
Yeah, we can. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for having me.